We are seeing more and more people, especially young people, especially men, put their money in very, very risky investments like meme stocks, speculative assets, option trading, etc. And I want to talk a little bit about the psychology behind that and why this group of people is so attracted to the allure of these types of investments. Meme stocks, especially, are a masterclass in behavioral finance, and they really capitalize on something called herd mentality, which is that our brains are evolved to follow the group as a survival mechanism. So, if we see thousands of people buying the same stock, our instincts tell us that they must know something that we don't, and we should invest in this. There's also, this piece of FOMO, which is often triggered by herd mentality. When we see a bunch of people doing something and it seems to be working for them, we want to get in on it too. We don't want to feel like we're missing out. And FOMO activates the area of the brain that is very similar to physical pain. So seeing other people make money while we're on the sideline almost physically hurts to us. So we want to kind of get involved. And what's so fascinating about all of this is that investors that are investing as a collective, so as a herd, which typically happens with meme stocks, they actually process information differently while they're kind of going through this herd mentality. The analytical parts of our brain actually become less active and the emotional centers light up. And that's what drives us to make these very impulsive, spur of the moment decisions because we're kind of just going along with the herd. It's like kind of going along a river. And a lot of the active investor community and meme stock community, I don't want to say all, but I have seen some examples of this that use a lot of the same psychological tactics as cults. There's a social identity attached to day trading. There's a specialized language that you use. And there's kind of this like us versus them mentality or narrative that kind of makes this feel like it's part of your identity. I'm not saying that these stocks never work out. Sometimes the herd is right, but understanding the psychology at play when you're making these decisions helps you understand if it's social pressure versus actually a financially sound decision. And crowd psychology is powerful enough to disconnect people's thinking from like the fundamentals, sometimes very dramatically. And we've seen this play out time and time again in the market.